Alright, so full disclosure, I know absolutely nothing about oboes. I've never even played one. The closest I've come is obviously clarinet, but yeah, when it comes to oboes, double reed instruments, I don't know anything, so bear that in mind as we go through this video. So about a month ago, my mum was just out and about in Manchester, England, and hello, how's it going? So my mum was out and about in town and she went past sort of like a second-hand shop. I don't know if those exist everywhere, but people sell stuff and a shop buys it and then tries to sell it on from there. And she saw what looked like a clarinet and it was labelled clarinet, but it was actually a Howarth oboe, believe it or not. Now, if you don't know, Howarth is a very well-respected brand of oboes. It's probably one of the best and one of the most enduring brands for oboes that there are. Come on. Ah, sorry buddy. I need this for the video, you see, so. The reason my mum thought it was a clarinet is because it was labelled as so in the window and it was listed for $29.99. $29.99? That cannot be right. Except that it was right, and my mum bought this Howarth oboe for 30 Great British pounds. Granted, we didn't know if it was a genuine Howarth oboe. I mean, if you open the case, it says Howarth oboe on it, but you know, my mum, she played clarinet when she was younger, but she doesn't really know much about instruments. I guess not as much as me, not that that's a lot, but so I told her to buy it because she gave me a call and was like, should I get this? And I said, you know, for £30, if it's a pile of rubbish and it's nothing, at least it's only £30. So she bought it and here it is, our oboe. So this is for sure an oboe, it's definitely not a clarinet. We know this because there's no mouthpiece, there's just a hole in the top, this sort of bulbous head, and the double reed just pops right in there and you sort of blow through the instrument. And there's also no barrel like there is on a clarinet, it's just these three pieces, and I guess this is a reed case as well, but there's no reeds in there, and I have not purchased a reed because I came to realise they are extremely expensive and I don't know how to play oboe, so I'm not going to buy a reed just to sound terrible. So when I did finally get my hands on it, I discovered that it was made in England and we have a model number there, which is S40C, which, you know, doesn't tell us an awful lot, but, you know, maybe it was made in England and it's an S40C. And then down here we have a serial number which is N527. So, you know, that's important information. That's information that we can use and we can do something with that. So that's exactly what I did. So I didn't get my hopes up, but I emailed Howarth. I went on their website, I looked up the S40C oboe, and it turns out that is a model that Howarth makes, and it's a semi-professional oboe, which, you know, if this is real and it's genuine, it's quite a valuable instrument. So I email Howarth, I can't remember the email address, and I just say, look, I've just found this oboe, it has this model number, it has this serial number, what can you tell me about it? And, you know, the very next day, less than 12 hours later, I got a response telling me that that serial number does match that model number, and this oboe was made in 2012. That's about as much as they could tell me, so that's really good news though. That's incredible news, because a little bit more digging told me that an S40C plus TP, and I'm not 100% sure what TP means. Bit of Googling, it means thumb plate. As a non-oboe player, I don't know what that means, but presumably it's this bit here on the top part of the shaft. Anyway, I found this, and basically a brand new instrument that's this model is about £3,500 or about $4,500 US, which is crazy considering that my mum bought this for £30. Yeah, I mean, if we really want to look at the condition of this thing, it's really not in that bad a shape. It seems to be okay. So things like the thumb rest on the bottom part obviously needs a new cork, for example, but you know, I look at the pads and they actually don't look too bad at all. It's weird, there's like some cosmetic scratches and you know, some bits, it doesn't look new. Little bits of wiggle here, so obviously we'd need to tighten those up with a screw. But yeah, after a first look, I sort of thought, everything looks in order. It doesn't look like any of the key work is going to need replacing. And looking at the wood is actually not in bad shape at all either. The main sort of problem with an oboe is you're worried about the wood cracking because of the way that the posts are seated and because it's sort of a conical bore. The worry is that the wood is going to crack, and once it's cracked, you're pretty much done. That's the end of your instrument's life. But yeah, taking a look, everything seems to be okay, and there's no cracks, there's nothing that I've seen. Everything just needs a really good adjustment, and he's taking apart and then putting back together the way it should be. But yeah, it sort of goes together absolutely fine, and I just need to make sure I line this up properly. And you have an oboe. Again, I do wish I had a reed, but I wasn't prepared to fork out £15 for a reed on an instrument that I'm not going to be able to play. But as for the pads, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this, but they're sealing fine. Alright, that didn't work. I thought I could just blow like it was a trumpet mouthpiece. Yeah. I regret doing that now, because I have no idea where this has been. But yeah, for a 10-year-old instrument, I mean, it seems to have been looked after pretty well. It just needs a good clean, just needs taking apart and putting back together again. Except that I'm not prepared to do that. Every time I look, there's a new button on this thing. Like, how do you even tap that? So, like, up like that, or? It's just such a weird looking instrument. I just can't figure it out. Any oboists care to explain themselves? Oh, wow. It's also an extremely narrow opening there. Can you see how tiny the opening is at the end? So that's what I mean by conical. It starts out very small and opens out at the end. So the instrument does get a little bit girthier as it goes down, but there's a lot, the wood's very thick up here, and then it really sort of hollows out towards the bottom. And I think that's what gives the oboe sort of the, combined with the double reed, the sort of sound. It's very focused and sharp. It is a beautiful sounding instrument, but it's definitely not for me. So following my correspondence with one of the members of the Howarth team, I asked if they did repairs, and it turns out they do. So I emailed the repairs team separately, and I asked them, you know, could you repair this? I sent them pictures and, you know, asked about it, I guess, and they said that they do. Depending on the state of the instrument, it would be up to £500. So, you know, as a non-oboe player, I sort of wondered about whether it was worth doing that, and I don't think it is, and I'll explain my reasoning. My sort of intention with this instrument is to sell it because I don't really have a use for it, I'll be honest with you. And the sort of danger of repairing the instrument or paying to have it repaired before I sell it is that it's my word against the buyer's belief, I suppose. And I think that makes it a lot less appealing to potential buyers. I think, particularly for me, if I was looking at an instrument, I'd want to buy it cheaper and then go and get it done up by somebody that I know and somebody that I trust. You know, and they might well send it to Howarth because they're the ones that created the oboe and they're going to do the best job at repairing it. So it only makes sense that it will go back to them. However, I want whoever buys this, you know, to know that that's what's being done and that there's no foul play here. So I have done quite a bit of research into this oboe in particular, and also oboes that sort of sell online, because I don't want to rip anybody off, especially if, let's say, the work that needs doing on this is more than £500. So the recommended retail price in pounds is £3,650 from Howarth directly. The second-hand value of most instruments, depending on the state that they're in, is about half for, you know, a pretty good looking instrument. So half of 3,650 is about 1,700, 1,750, something like that. So that's what I would expect to sell this for if it was in really good nick. Now it's not, so we're going to take away the £500 repair from that, which is £1,250. And because I have no idea what state this is really in and what work is going to need to be done on it, I'm going to take away another £250, just because I don't want a buyer to be in a sticky situation where they've bought an oboe for £1,250 and they have to spend more than they were hoping on it to get it to working order, because that just, it doesn't really seem fair to me. So I'm going to take some nice pictures of the instrument, I'm going to pop it on eBay, I'm going to explain, full disclosure, don't know anything about instruments, and we'll go from there. We'll see what happens, we'll see if we have any interested parties, and yeah, I'll get back to you. I'll let you know how we do as and when. Yeah, rambling's over. I'll get back to you if I have an update on this pretty cool situation. Guys, I actually do not believe it. I literally just finished filming the video. It's the same night. I was editing it. I'm about 6 minutes into the video and I hear a little cha-ching notification, and it's the oboe selling on eBay. I listed it for $9.99, and less than 2 hours, I think it was 1 hour and 50 minutes after I listed it, somebody bought it, which to me suggests I sold it for a very, very good price. I mean, I know $9.99 for a £3,500 oboe is an incredible deal, even if it's 10 years old and needs a repair, but you know, I'm so glad it went. And you know, what a crazy markup. I bought this for £30. So here you see your listing is live, and that's at 5:47 p.m. and then the very next email I receive is at 7:39, and it's that my item's sold. I'm just really glad I got the oboe out and had a good play with it and managed to get like a little video, because now it's, well, now it's going, it's leaving my hands, and yeah, it's crazy. That's well, eBay is going to take some fees away. I don't know exactly how much I'm going to get. I think eBay is about 13%, so I should get about 870 maybe, minus the 30, which is 850. So an £850 sort of gain on an instrument that my mum just happened to see as she walked past. It just... So what's the moral of this video then? What's the point of it all? I don't know. I mean, the world is a really crazy place right now, and you know, energy prices are going up. The situation in Ukraine throughout 2022 has been absolutely mental. You know, the world seems to be on a razor's edge a lot of the time, and it's really nice to have a win every once in a while. And for me, it's that I've, you know, made a lot of money on an instrument that's obviously worth a lot, but you know, wasn't valued by the person who sold it. And I can go and do, you know, what I want with that money now, and it's going to be a massive help to me, whether it's, you know, paying my bills, or, you know, buying that bit of sax gear that I really wanted, or, you know, getting something that'll make making videos a bit easier. And the beautiful thing about this whole situation is the person who's bought the instrument has got a really amazing deal. You know, they're going to go get this repaired, they're going to do it up, and you know, they're going to have a really, really nice instrument that's going to last them, and that they're going to get a lot of enjoyment out of. And you know, that for me is why this is such a great situation to be in. It's just, it's really nice. And yeah, that's it, I guess. I think that's everything I wanted to say. And yeah, what a crazy evening this has been. Really, really pleased with how it all turned out. And yeah, to the buyer, congrats, you know, enjoy the instrument, and I hope it brings you lots of happiness. Alright, that's it from me. Have a great one. See you later.